You're meeting a new group of people, someone smiles warmly, and instantly you feel welcome. Another barely glances at you, and suddenly you feel like an outsider. In just seconds, your brain decides, are they part of my group or not? That snap judgment, that's social identity theory at work. The idea that much of our self-worth comes not just from who we are individually, but from the groups we belong to. And this instinct, to connect with us and separate from them, runs deeper than we realize. Developed by psychologists Henry Tajfel and John Turner in the 1970s, social identity theory explains how our self-image is built not just on personal traits, but also on group membership. Sports teams, hometowns, favorite bands, even something as simple as rooting for Team Coffee versus Team Tea, shapes how we see ourselves and how we see others. Why does that matter? Because this instinct doesn't just build friendships, it shapes who we trust, who we support, and sadly, who we reject, exclude, or even dehumanize. That's the big idea. But to really understand how deeply it affects us, we need to walk through the 3 key processes behind social identity theory. Processes happening all the time, often without us realizing. At its core, social identity theory argues that a major part of our self-image comes from who we are and who we are with. Instead of thinking purely about your own talents, dreams, and quirks, a huge part of your self-esteem ties directly to the groups you belong to. Henri Tajfel, who survived the horrors of World War II, wanted to understand a chilling question. How can ordinary people so easily divide, discriminate, and even destroy each other based on simple group labels? His insight was radical. We don't just observe group differences, we internalize them, we feel them. We become emotionally attached to our groups, even when the divisions are completely artificial. Have you ever felt irrational pride when your city's team won, even if you weren't on the field? Or felt a strange instant bond with a stranger wearing the same obscure band t-shirt as you? That's social identity theory in action. It's not just group behavior, it's how belonging becomes part of being. This powerful pull doesn't just happen randomly, it follows a pattern, a sequence your brain runs almost automatically. Social categorization, social identification, and social comparison. Let's break each one down, because once you see how they work, you'll start spotting them everywhere. Social categorization. Our brains are sorting machines. You meet someone new, and almost instantly you categorize them: student, musician, parent, tourist. It's not necessarily malicious. It's shorthand for navigating a complex world fast. But once categories form, they stick. They shape our expectations, our assumptions, and even our emotions toward others. Think about the way you treat a tourist versus a local in your city. Social identification. We don't just label others, we choose identities for ourselves. I'm a runner, I'm a New Yorker, I'm a gamer. And once we belong, we deeply feel what the group feels. Their victories feel like our victories. Their struggles feel like our struggles. When your school wins a national championship, you feel proud even if you never stepped onto the field. Social comparison. Once we belong, we compare and usually favor our own side. Our team is smarter, our city is better, our way of life is the right one. It strengthens group pride, but it also lays the groundwork for division, prejudice, and even conflict. Think political party rivalries, or fierce debates over which fandom is better. You don't have to look far to see social identity theory in action. Workplaces. Departments like marketing and sales often act like rival teams, even when they're supposed to be on the same side. High school jocks, nerds, theater kids. Simple labels, but powerful enough to define friendships, rivalries, and self-worth. Online communities, Marvel fans versus DC fans, gamers forming rival clans, entire emotional worlds built around fictional characters, classic tech rivalries, iPhone users versus Android users. It's not just about tech preferences. Listen to how people talk. Android people are cheap. Apple people are pretentious. Social identity theory explains why we form intense loyalties and equally intense prejudices over things that seem trivial on the surface. But here's the wildest part. You don't even need real differences to trigger all this loyalty and rivalry. Just a label is enough. Let's dig into one of the most fascinating experiments ever run. If this is making you rethink how we see each other, take a second to like this video, subscribe, and click the bell. Your support helps us dive even deeper into the psychology that shapes all of us, often in ways we don't even realize. Thanks for being part of this journey. Now, let's dig even deeper. Back in the 1970s, Henri Tajfel ran a groundbreaking experiment. He asked a group of boys to pick between two abstract paintings. Then, completely randomly, he assigned them into two teams based on their choices. The teams meant nothing. The boys had nothing real in common, and yet, they immediately showed favoritism toward their own group, giving more rewards, trusting them more, preferring them, just because of a random label. This is called the minimal group paradigm, and it doesn't just happen with kids. Later studies found the same patterns among adults, in offices, in online games, even in brand loyalty wars. As soon as a label exists, even a meaningless one, loyalty forms. Think about how quickly people choose sides on reality TV shows. The minimal group effect reveals something crucial. The social divisions we think are rational are often deeply emotional, unconscious, and automatic. Understanding social identity theory gives us something powerful, the ability to see the walls we build, and the bridges we could choose instead. Yes, we're wired to belong, but we're also wired to learn and to choose better. Because every time we recognize these patterns, we gain a little more freedom. Freedom to connect beyond labels. Freedom to see people not just as members of them, but as human beings, just like us. Walls can feel safe, but bridges build futures. Thanks for watching, and for thinking deeply about what makes us us.